Wednesday. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. It's Brittany, bitch. I'm back. I'm going to do that. We're going to put the volume down. And then we're going to turn on our Do Not Disturb. I'll turn on my live chat. I got to do some scans. New chat filter for creators and monitors. Morning, Zephin. I'm on late. Let me make sure you can hear me. Audio mixer. Properties. Cancel. I don't even know. I guess it's okay. Yeah. Big cam. Yeah, I've been MIA. I posted a drone video last night of where I was at here. And I got a dog who's injured, but oh well. Hey, Scott. Good morning. But yeah, let's see. Your channel. Here's I posted this video last night. So it's basically me hiking with my friend Nikki. Out in Alabama, her bucket list was, I want to go hike in Alabama. So I took her to Alabama. You can see the drone shot there. This is a place, there is a plane crash from 1972 right about here. It crashed on these rocks in bad weather. And the fuselage and some plane remnants are still there. Because they couldn't hike it out from this place. But we were on this rock ledge, just kind of hanging out. And I said, let's go. The pancakes were awesome, Scott. Oh, my God. It's right around the corner from my house, too. So, but, yeah. Drone video is kind of cool if you want to check it out. But I don't have a lot of notes. Just full disclosure, I don't have notes. So Apple event, USB-C, and other other things, plus a new watch. That's big for the stock in my mind. There's a lot of mixed press out there on that Apple stuff. So I'll talk about that. I'm going to talk about SPY. I'm going to talk about QQQ. And then we'll just go into scans. Because I do have, this is a good article. I'm going to post this. Social requests. I do have some social requests I got to look at. Just a friend, Zephin. Just a friend. Okay. Just a friend. Dude, you're what, like 19? Not every girl that you hang out with is a girlfriend. Don't gaslight me. And you've listened to me long enough that I can call you douche. Let's see. We're going to run the 4-hour. I don't want the 821. There is a new indicator, by the way, in TrendSpider. I should probably bring that up as well. I'm going to look at some social requests because I know I've gotten a few that I just haven't been able to follow up on. So let's see. We're going to go to the group. Oh, dude, Shred More. Dude. We got to look at Shred More. No, I want members. Shred, you're getting deleted. You're getting blocked. No. Shred. Banned from group. Delete recent activity. Delete future accounts. Okay. And let's go discussion. And we'll renew this. Putin and Kim Kim Jong-un. Let me just put these in from Sam. Copy. Adam from Facebook. Sam from Facebook. If you're hearing yelping in the background, that's fucking Penny. She hurt her back. Lithium deposits. Brian from Facebook. Lithium deposits in U.S. My thought. Very headliney. Adam from Facebook. Okay. I got everything from Facebook. Okay. We're going to close that down. We're going to go and look at... I'm going to do some scans, but here's the thing. By the way, I just got a full newsletter done. Scans. We're going to look at some scans, market scanner. And it's going to fuck up a little bit because I should have done it this morning, but I was busy this morning. KO, Qualcomm with a QCLN. God, and I was just looking at my my Sedge, Jeppy. Covered calls, energy names that we trade. Nothing. Because energy's fucking just on fire. Levered ETFs, anything in the levered ETF space. SARK. That's got leverage, I think. Low cost Vanguard. Anything. I don't think there's going to be anything here. VEA and wow, there's 2 of them, 3 of them. VXUS, VWO. Let's look at spider sectors. More waterfall, less Gary. Anybody that follows my personal account, I posted a waterfall. Holy crap, there's a lot. Sedge cross up, and it's down 1.41. Lee Auto, that's been a pretty good stock right there. EVgo, I'm not a fan. Best Buy, completely lost its way. Hershey, do not get involved. Vertex, PayPal looks like it's turning around. I mean, PayPal's been playing in this space between 57 and 65. I'm going to put it in there. Let's see. We got Lyft. Liftoff. God, if it wasn't for the fundamentals of this business being so poor, this gap to 16, I'm going to put it in there because that gap, here's the thing. I think, Scott, my personal opinion on oil, I don't think there's a way to lose on oil because if we're going into a recession, oil will come down, but it should be one of the safer plays. If we're not going into a recession, then you're going to have a booming economy, and then you're going to see oil go up from a demand. So I don't think that there's a way for you to miss out on oil. It may underperform, so I would say don't have it as your main investment. But GOP Gary, I am not GOP. Look at this one. I mean, this one's gonna be taken over to Microsoft at 95. So if you want to invest at 92, it's almost a certainty it's at 95 by the time you sell it. So, and when I mean sell it, I mean that by the time that Microsoft gives you money for it. Walgreen boots, there is no way I'm suggesting that one. That's in the Dow and it crossed up. NASDAQ, let's look at NASDAQ. And I'm going to make this one rather short. I'm not going to have a super long one. Bum, 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 bum. But I have missed doing the podcast, so I've been working, and the past 2 days have been more vacation than work. Entertaining friends who were in town, and Cleveland Cliffs is at $14. Hoofa. Snowflake is down 1%. Tesla is up 1%. And I've been saying Tesla, it's overvalued. Just buy it. Vertex, WBD, Starbucks. I like Starbucks under 100, but Monster Beverage, Qualcomm we talked about. Okay, I'm going to stop it. We'll go to the S&P. Oh, come on. S&P. Technology is not working for me today. In fact, I got in my car earlier, and the damn car wouldn't go in reverse because it wanted my key card. For those of you that drive Teslas, it seems like my Bluetooth is fucking up. So, Philip Morris, I will not suggest. Ethics. Union Pacific. That's back at its 200-day. Look at that. On the 4-hour, it's at the 200-day. At the weekly, it's at the 200-day. And it looks like still doesn't UNP, watch it. I'll say UNP. Watch for the golden cross and confirmation. Who's this douchebag they're interviewing? Larry! Okay, hit the thumbs up button. I'm going to do this mofo now. We're going to go to the strategy tester. Do you want to proceed? Yes. Strategy tester, and we're going to go to the 4-hour. I know you didn't mean go GOP. My ass is too socially liberal to be GOP. Fiscally, GOP. Socially, more liberal. But don't hate me because that makes me a moderate. So, and I don't care which side of the aisle you're on. Everybody's got an argument for something. Just don't be a douchebag like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's just corrupt, ridiculous. She complains about Nancy Pelosi, and, she's doing the same damn thing, getting corrupted in there. And by the way, I thought the All In podcast, if you haven't listened to it, the All In podcast with Chris Christie, I thought was great. I thought he was great. What's your thoughts on Putin and Kim? Yeah, my thoughts on Putin and Kim is, Putin's doing what he can to save I think he wants to put the Soviet Union back together. I think this is a KGB guy. And I think, his glory days would be to get the Soviet Union back together. But I think there's too much in the world that won't let that happen. But I hope. But remember, that's what Reagan did. Reagan broke it up by economic sanctions to where they had to break up. Okay, SPY. Okay. SPY and QQQ. I think they're in the same thing. Okay, I'm going to start the podcast. What the hell? I don't have my water. Let me see. That's classic. Anybody that knows Leroy Jenkins, there's a, it looks like I can include it in the newsletter. It's a picture. Air traffic control, avoid the area. There's a war on. Air India, Leroy Jenkins. See the one little plane in the middle? That's Ukraine. And that one little plane is Air India. They're Leroy Jenkins it. Yeah, pipelines are good. Scott, I wouldn't worry about the debt right now. I think you're right. Oh, Elon Musk is at this hearing. Wow. I think he's sitting next to Alexander, the Palantir CEO. Yeah, Zephan. I mean, here's the thing that you have to know. And Zephan, you're still fairly young. There is always concern around the world about what could happen. There's always concern in the market, like to address you too, Scott. There's always concern in the market about issues. The debt is 100%. Listen to the All In podcast and the one with Chris Christie, and they address that Chris Christie's the only one who's addressing the economy. World of Warcraft. That is great. I did not play World of Warcraft. I am not a World of Warcraft guy, just Leroy Jenkins. I absolutely love that video clip. But understand that there's always concern. 9 times out of 10, these things work themselves out. They work themselves out for the better. Kim Jong-un and Soviet Union. That's a scary one, but shit, I see a spider's web in my window. I gotta clean these fucking windows and these spiders. But yeah, my ADD. Okay. I hear the ball being played with, so I'm gonna start recording. Good morning. It's Wednesday, September 13th, and I have been away for a while. I was in Dallas, and I was also eating pancakes the size of my freaking head. Let's go to Facebook so I can show you. There's a private Facebook group that I have. If you ever want to join, you go to Linktree, linktr.ee/Daily Stock Pick. All of the social symbols are up here. If you want to join the private Facebook group, it's right here. Anybody that listens to it usually jumps on there. But I was eating this pizza pancake. The dude comes out and he says, listen, do you want 7-inch? Do you want 14-inch? I said, 7-inch sound kind of wimpy. Give me the 14-inch. He goes, dude, it's like a pizza. I said, yeah, hit me with it. And it's literally a pizza. I mean, they serve it on a pizza tray. So I was eating that. I was also in Alabama, and I was hiking with a friend. And here's a drone shot. It's the middle of Alabama in a place called Chihia State Park. And over here to the left, there's a plane wreckage from 1972 where a plane went down. The fuselage is still there. Some metal pieces are still there, but I posted this video yesterday. Take a look at it. It's pretty cool. I used some royalty-free music on it. So, but yeah, I have not been in the stock market of recent. So what I'm going to go over is pretty much headlines right now. I'll do some social requests as well. But I want to kind of go, where are we and where we're going? Tomorrow, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled program of in-depth stuff with complete analysis. But today, you're getting some scans and you're just getting some overview. But here's SPY. And where are we on SPY? Well, if you pull back the volume level to the high, which was July 27th, and you can see there's a gap up there. We're in an ascending wedge. So we've hit that bottom of about 430 in that area. And you can see if we pull this back and we look at some of these volume levels, you can see the volume level, the big shelf from the high is still around 450 and we're trading at 445. So my guess is that we're probably going up. But when you look at the 9 and the 21, you don't have a clear confirmation. You have nothing in SPY. So we've been sitting in this kind of no man's land. You have the ascending wedge. Like I said, the 200-day still positive. The 50-day turned negative. You're still negative on that 50-day. I would not be throwing big money. I would not be investing heavily in this market. The only ones that I would be investing in heavily are ones that have come down. So like your Apples, your Amazon. Amazon hasn't come down, but your Google at 135. I think 130 is a better price, but if you're buying small lots. Meta, I said get it under 300. It's at 301 right now. Microsoft, I think anything near 330 is a great buy. Netflix, I said buy anything under 450. It's at 430 right now. Nvidia sold at 505. It went up to 500, got rejected, and went right back down. It's at 449 today. Buy it again. PXD, it's a $250 stock. You could buy that one. I was just talking with Larry on here. Larry! But I was just talking to the guys on YouTube. I think energy is your best play. I still think you've got play in that one. PXD is one of the best. I think Exxon is good as well. Marathon Oil, MAR. I think that those are MRO. MAR is Marriott. But I think those are great stocks. Now, Roblox is down another 7%. While it looked like we had confirmation and we were above that, if you bought at 27 and you sold at 29, it's getting rejected at 30. So it's back down at 26. You're creating a gap. I think this gap gets filled, but it's going to take a long while to get there. Shopify, we talked about. This one popped up to 67. That gap is going to get filled back down to 60. It's at 61.79 right now. But the 200-day is positive. You had the death cross. But you know what? That 50-day has turned positive again. Get this one while you can. There are opportunities in this market. You've just got to take advantage of them. And I'll say this again. Buy good companies with good products, with good management and good earnings, and you'll be okay. We're going to have pullbacks. Yeah, probably in the short term. You may get nervous about holding. Something like Uber, which is at 47, might go down to 45. You might be down 4 or 5%. But you know what? If you continually add to it and you dollar cost average up here at 47, you're looking at a $50 stock, I think, at some point in time this year. So you still got a positive 200-day. Your 50-day has turned positive. I'm still positive in this market. Salesforce is at 218. I mean, all of these high flyers have come back down. And we'll talk about QQQ now, because the Qs is kind of where I've been playing. And I haven't been buying, but I've been playing the TQQQ, SQQQ stuff. And you can make 1 or 2% a day. Do not try and make, 5 or 10% in a day. It's great if you can, but most of the time you can't. But these triple levered ETFs are great to play in that sense. You got a gap up here between 379 and 382. You're at 372. You're in an ascending wedge. Your 50-day is starting to move positive. You still don't have confirmation over that 9-day. So I'd be a little bit concerned. But if you want to buy Qs on the long, for like a year, 2 years, I think that's probably a decent buy here at 372. Could you come down here to the VWAP at 363? Probably. The volume shelf looks like it's putting in at 374. So I don't know that you have a ton of upside, but I think it's good. I think it's decent. Let's talk about the one in the news yesterday, because it was the one that I read about, because your boy actually wants an iPhone 15. I know. I don't know why. That added sensor. I have a 13 Pro. I want the 15 Pro. I like the fact that they most of the tech reviewers that I listened to said there is a significant weight difference between the 13 and the 15. When you put the two together, and it's because of the titanium band, the Pro model. It does this stock. I mean, it's going to continue to go down. I don't think you're doing yourself any disfavor by adding it at 174, but I do think that at some point in time, this comes back down to the 160s. We haven't covered this gap between 157 and 159. I think that one is in line. This one right in line at 167. I think you come down to that. Now, am I getting rid of this? I talked about it in a paid newsletter, and if you want to subscribe to the newsletter right here, I talked about 9/11. I did this one in 5 minutes. It's just notes. So it's a very simple one. But this little Apple this week shows you why you don't want to stick to the 5% rule and rebalance at times. That's a newsletter about, hey, I've got a significant position in Apple, and a huge percentage of my net worth is in Apple. And so This little pullback right here from 195, I mean, if I just want to look, it's going to hurt me, but we'll take a look. Let's see, 195, we're going to go 0 bars, and we're going to go down. That's 11%. So just for shits and giggles, say that I've got a couple $1 million, $2 million in Apple. 11% is $200,000. There's not a lot of people who could sit there and lose $200,000, but I've got tax situation where I have not sold this stuff, and if I sell it, I'm all of a sudden a high earner. So I do have a significant tax position. So I'm trimming it in my retirement accounts, but I'm not doing much of anything with Apple. I'm just kind of riding it out. And if we look at the weekly on this one, this is why I'm kind of riding it out. You're not even at the 50-day. So am I concerned that it's going to pull back here to the 200 level? Yeah. I mean, I probably am that, at least we get down to this 160. I do think that 160s are probably coming in. Now, am I adding at the 160s? Probably. They talked about the Vision Pro, the Apple 15 Pro, Pro Max. You can shoot 360-degree video that is viewed on the Apple Vision Pro, and they say it's unbelievable. That's going to sell a $3,000 headset. There's talk about Apple being in talks with Hyundai or Kia about building an Apple car that's autonomous, fully autonomous, and works with your iPhone. Anybody that has a Tesla, the phone settings kind of suck. I mean, and by far, the Apple phone is way better than any Android phone in Tesla. So I'm not too worried about it. Apple is one that I think is fine. Amazon, I think you're fine in Amazon. It's had quite a run. You can take a look. Some of the, here, March, buying it in 93. When I said buy this under 100 back in March, people were laughing. It's a dying stock. It's overvalued. It's crazy. Then you get the AI craze. And you know what? Amazon wasn't necessarily included in that. But if you bought here down at 93, then let's see. If you bought down there at 93, let's just pull this down at 93. You're up 37%. In what, 6 months? That's like legend status. So yeah, for all those people who added during those times, absolutely great buy. Great, fantastic buy. I was asked, I'll kind of just do a quick one about energy. I still think energy is the greatest buy. I think Devon here at 51. I don't know if you want to add it at 51. I tell people, hey, trade it and buy it under 50, sell it when it's over 50. And it clearly went to 54, got rejected once it filled that gap and kind of came back down. I think this is where you're going to sit. I think you're between probably 48 and 54 for the foreseeable future. I think that's a great one. While you're sitting there, you're getting a 7% dividend. Want a bigger dividend? PXD. PXD, I think, is a $250 stock. Buying it under $200, great trade. Great trade on this one. Again, I'm sitting here holding it because it's got a great dividend. I like that one. So you have your energy names. If you don't know the energy names that we trade, in TrendSpider, there is an energy list. You can import it. PXD, XOM, COP, DVN, Oxy, CVX, FANG, Venom or Viper, VNOM, MRO, Marathon Oil. I think this is a great, great buy. I think even at these high levels, look, triggered in at 26.31, you're at 26.89. I don't think it's crazy. So I think it's good. Now, social requests. Let's talk about those before we get to the scans. VFS, which was the darling. And I said, be careful of this one because it was the darling. This went to $80 a share. And people started asking about it. Sam asked, hey, VFS, what are your thoughts? Well, my thoughts are, and I included this, I think, in the newsletter yesterday or Friday or something, but I'll include it again. Buzzy electric car maker VinFast loses an astounding $83 billion in market value in just one day as investors go in reverse. I'll include this in the newsletter if you want to read it. But VFS, as far as the chart goes, it's a $10 stock. Do not buy this at 16. It's coming back to 10. This is a SPAC. So this is highly, highly speculative. You can see we got out with a 57% gain from there. You could have gotten out with what, 157? You went from 16 all the way up to 93. $93 at this point. on August 28th. And absolutely, once you lost or even hit confirmation here at 60, you should have been out. The algorithm wound up waiting until it was at 32. So you did make a 57% gain. But 57% sucks compared to what you could have made. So watch those moving averages. You know, the 50-day is still positive. The 200-day is still positive. But remember, it came on board as a SPAC, so it's a $10 stock. I would expect that to be the support level. You do have a significant amount of people, as far as the volume shelf, that are holding this at 16. So they're holding at 16. There's a lot of people up here at 24, 25. It might come back to that. But my thoughts, read that article. It's just hype. It's just hype. So what are your thoughts on CART and ARM? I've heard you talk a little bit about ARM. I know you said you feel that we could probably get ARM for less than what the IPO is. I guess my question is, what would you be looking for as an entry point for either one of these? I mean, ARM is, we don't have a stock. ARM is, Army, it's not that one. CART is Instacart. ARM. So here's what you have to know about IPOs. Let's go back to Uber's IPO. This is a great example. We'll go back to a monthly on Uber. And this is a great example of an IPO. Comes out in May 2019. I remember its IPO. It opened at 42. That's where it opened. It went up to 45. And then the next month, it went up to 47. And then it lost. And in this month, it went down to $13. $13 in March of 2020. That was COVID. $13. Now, it came back because everybody was expecting, Uber's got a chance because everybody's going to come back. And it was all on hype. Got up to $64. $64. Only to realize, money's expensive now, February 2021. Rates are going to increase. This company's not making money. June 2022, low of $19. You made the full round trip from $64 down to $19. That's what I expect with CART and ARM. They are so overvalued when they're IPO'd. People have been waiting for these companies to come out to the point where they probably shouldn't even IPO now because there was so much hype before that there's no way they're going to live up to the hype now. So I know I can get, I bid on ARM. ARM will come out tomorrow. And they're a competitor to Taiwan Semi, where they actually make the semiconductors. SoftBank, or I think SoftBank. SoftBank is the one that owns a bunch. In fact, does SoftBank have a stock? I think they do. SoftBank. SFBQF. SoftBank Group Corp. SFBQF. I don't even know what it is. But in my mind, I think you hold off. I'm never huge on buying an IPO unless I find, trade in on a 5-minute chart. And if I trade it on a 5-minute chart, I'm looking for 1 or 2%. I'm scalping as it goes up. If I make 5%, I'm happy as pie. But the second it loses that confirmation, Sam, I'm out. And that's my thought on IPOs. And the reason being, remember, IPOs, you do a roadshow and they tell their story. And then, market participants, meaning the big houses like Fidelity and Schwab and JP Morgan and such, they attach a number to it. And it's, hey, we're going to attach a number. We're going to see huge growth on this. We want the pop, blah, blah, blah. Now, what they're trying to attach that number for is to raise the best possible money for ARM. They're not trying to make sure that the stock pops on day one. They actually would like to see the stock drop on day one. Typically, there's 90-day holdups where people can't trade it. So you want to see the stock actually lower than what you IPO'd at. Because if it winds up 10, 20% up from where you IPO'd at, that actually means that ARM or CART left money on the table because they didn't price it correctly. So essentially that pricing is huge. I think it's always overvalued. I think you wait at least a week, if not 2, to try and do it. Kava. Kava's a good example. Kava just came out. They IPO'd, a month ago? Let's take a look. It was quite a bit ago. But Kava, if we're looking at the 4-hour on this one, and we go back, I guess it was, let's say, yeah, it was IPO'd on June 15th, and it popped. It went from 42 up to 47, and you see it dropped on the DAT day. Then it came back a little bit, kind of got rejected. Now it's up there. Boom, it kept going up. Kava is a luxury, kind of like a higher end fast food kind of place. Yeah, this is the legend of an IPO. This is not unusual where it just gets hyped up, and yeah, you could trade it, but there's a lot of IPOs who just wind up going down too. So I'd be a little bit careful, Sam. I just don't think. Lithium deposits in the U.S., my thoughts. Brian posted this. It was a headline. I think it's very headliney. I think lithium, the fact that we have lithium, U.S. Lithium Corp, LITH, you can trade this one. I don't know anything about this stock. I think it says over the counter. So yeah, there's no data on it. But I'd be careful. I just don't think that headlines drive industries. I think by the time it reaches a headline, you've seen enough of it. And I think that is more about the EV future than it is anything. So let's see. Adam asked about ACB, and this is Aurora Cannabis, and CGC, which is another cannabis company. Keep profits or keep running or take my gains. Take your gains. If you want, there's a let's go to Spotify. There's an On the Tape podcast with open. Do you want to allow to use? Don't allow. So On the Tape podcast, we'll go to On the Tape. I think it's let's say On the Tape is, let's say, their episodes. Choose your audience, whole lot of love with arm quarterbacking. Where is it? Oh man, they've been posting a lot. Which one is it? Better Man. This one. Played on September 1st. Brady Cobb of Sunburn Cannabis. Masterclass on cannabis. Take your profits. Essentially, what I hear from him is take your profits. When you get a profit in cannabis, you take your profits because there's a long, long process. And it's not like this, this is the news of it becoming a class 1, I think, or class 3. I forget exactly. But Brady, if you want to listen to that, Sam or Adam, go to On the Tape podcast. And it's from September 1st with Tom Lee. Better Man with Fun Test, Tom Lee, and Brady Cobb of Sunburn Cannabis. It is a masterclass on cannabis. And he even admits it. It has been a long struggle with cannabis. And I don't think anybody who understands cannabis is saying, hey, get into this industry because it's going to pop. It is 100% news driven. Take your profits. Absolutely take your profits. Let's talk about scans now since I don't have much else to go over. But we have Coke. Coke is one. I think they just paid its special dividend. 58.37. It's below 60. I think you're okay. Again, Coke is one that I think will come up to that 200-day. If we look from a long-term perspective, I like the fact that the ex-dividend date is today and that I just bought some at 58 again. So I got the dividend. I just bought some at 58. I like it. I mean, I just continue to compound in this one. It's below its 50-day. You can see it's been trading on that 50-day. If we go long-term and we pull this one back, you can see when the 50-day gets close to that 200 and you're trading. I mean, this is COVID when the world was shut down. It's going to hit that if it hits that 200-day 56, load up. Again, this is a long-term stock. This isn't one where you're going to make 10% in a day. It's not one that you typically will trade for a 5 or 10% gain. It's just one that you want to throw in your account and just collect the dividend. It's solid. Qualcomm. Talked about Qualcomm down here. TrendSpider just paid me. 107, I think, is the bottom of this. I think it's shown as its support level. Right there, you're at 112. This gap right here up to 122. At some point, this gets filled. but you have to make it past the 200-day first. So if you're buying at 112 and you get to 115, my advice, sell some. If you hold at 116, buy it back. That would be my advice with this one. Chips have been a little bit hit or miss lately, like AMD. AMD, I bought at 109. I'm going to add more here at 106, 105. It's under the 200-day. It's playing with that 200-day. You just had that death cross. Do I think it's going under 100? I don't care. It's a long-term play. I'm looking to add to this, and I'll trim it when necessary. But I'm in the positive one. I think my average purchase price is like 83 on this one because I've held it for so long and things of that sort. But, again, I bought at 109. So I like this one. One that I haven't liked that's in my portfolio is QCLN. This is the Clean Edge Technology ETF. It's been hard owning this one, especially with Sedge, Enphase and other things being such a large part of this. Tesla is part of this one, but it just hasn't performed well at all. And you can see the gap up here between 52 and 53. If we get back up there, I might think about trimming significantly. I do own a good portion of this just because I believed in the ETF. I am still positive. I want you to know I am still positive on this one. There'll be other scans, by the way, like SARK, double levered ETF against the ARKK, had a cross up. PayPal, this one's 63.48. Now, you could go back down to 59. I like this one here. I'm going to be adding more. I like this to fill this gap. I've said this several times. Fill this gap up to 72. I even like this gap up here at 84 and 85. Now, I think the company is still doing well. I think with the new CEO, they're going to pull some levers. I think they'll do really well. I like this one. I like this one because I just think it's been beaten down too much. The valuation isn't crazy. It is still crazy compared to a lot of other financials. And with a lot of other financials getting into this fintech space, they have a ton of competition and their margins are the issue. If you want to read a newsletter about this one, Stock Market Nerd has some great analysis on PayPal. He's adding to his position. I completely agree with his analysis of it. He's a fundamental investor who looks at value versus growth. He believes that they can pull off this. This is a monthly. So this goes all the way back to 2015. You can see all the way up until 2021. This was a $273 stock. And then fintech, as things started to pan out and costs, interest rates went up, banks started to suffer. This one just went down, and you still don't have confirmation on this. So I want you to make sure that you're adding in at appropriate sizes because size is what matters. I mean, don't let anyone tell you. Size matters. Absolutely, size matters. Now, Lyft. Lyft is an interesting one because if I believed in the management and the product of this company, I would say this gap fills up here to 1594. You are in at 1161. Now, what I want you to know is the algorithm outperforms, but it still loses you money on this name. You lose 59% versus losing 77% of your investment. There was a big insider buy on this one. If we go to FinViz and we just look at Lyft, I think it was a board director bought $100,000 worth. Let's look at Lyft because I do remember this one. Now, mind you, they are not making money. They're fighting a losing battle, but you can see Ashwant Prashant, director, bought $1 million worth. $1 million worth, 96,000 shares at 1034. Today, you're trading at 1135. He's doing pretty freaking well. So what, he made couple $100,000, doing pretty well for, short amount of time. But I do like that. If you think Lyft, I use Uber, just Uber. I just use Uber. And so I don't think that Lyft can take this one. I think they're fighting for drivers. I did talk to an Uber driver. He said he tried driving for Lyft, didn't like it. He's not going back. He's been driving for 9 years, I think he said, for Uber. So he's pretty good. Starbucks. Listen, they're going to fill that gap. You see it right in the middle of my screen. I said, this is the support level that I said. I said anything under 100. This is at 97. That support level, I said, if you get down there below it, I said buy it. Buy it sell it when you get above it, 99. Right now, you had this death cross back here on June 2nd. Doesn't have confirmation, but I think 96 is a decent price for this one. I just don't think this one's going to go down. UNP, United Pacific. This is one. What I want you to watch on this one is the golden cross and confirmation, because we don't typically trade down at the 200-day for very long. Now, this is a long-term investment. I wouldn't say, trade this one. You can clearly see the gap up here on earnings, and then it came back, covered that gap. Now you're starting to get some confirmation, but you don't have it. This the golden cross on the weekly is what I want you to look at, because the weekly is where, if you're going in long-term, you can go in long-term. You can see we don't get back to the 200-day very often on this one. You've got a MACD cross down. So what I want you to look at is this little portion right here. You've got a golden death cross right there about the end of July, where you just started sliding down. You have no confirmation on the weekly. So there's two thoughts on this one. If you're looking for a long-term investment in railroads, I don't think this is bad. Now, it is expensive. UNP, let's see. Against Southern, I think we'll look at railroads. But UNP PE of 19, forward PE of 18. We'll look at railroads as a whole. If you look at the PE, we'll look at from down. 28, Westinghouse Air Brakes. You look at Union Pacific, Canadian National at 19. Norfolk Southern at 17. Canadian Pacific at 16. CSX at 15. The rest of them not making money, so you don't want to invest in them. But you can see there's some lower. This is right in the middle. I don't think it's crazy. The three above it are absolutely just not really railroads, but they're included in the railroad sector. So I'd be a little bit careful of this one. But if you wanted to get into railroads and you wanted to look at this one from a weekly perspective, I would watch that 50-day. As it starts to cross up and you get a golden cross, I think you could see these $250 stock prices again. But I'm not a railroad expert. I'm just reading the charts. I don't know much about it, so don't listen to a douche on the internet. Okay. Sponsors, TrendSpider, 25% off. I give you my algorithms. Go to linktr.ee/daily stock pick. Use this link. Sign up for TrendSpider. If we go to plans and pricing, you can see it says go equals Gary 93 up there. So that means you're on my link. You can see you can skip the trial and buy it for $468. $468. And I give you my algorithm. I give you my watch list. I give you everything there. This link tree. Join Webull. I've said it before. 12 free stocks, up to 12 free stocks. I mean, come on. Webull is great. If you're not signed up for TrendSpider, get Webull. Get their desktop software. It is great. It is phenomenal. I really, really like it. The next one is the newsletter, dailystockpick.substack.com. Sign up. If I'm not doing the podcast, I'm doing the newsletter. I'm doing a lot more with the newsletter. I'll probably do a lot more while I'm on vacation or actually working with MLS. So I think you should sign up for the newsletter. Next sponsor is Visible, $20 off your first month of service. So your first month of service, I think, is $30. I think they upped it from $25. They were having a special. It's $30. You get $20 off. So your first month of service is $10 by using that line. And I've had plenty of people sign up for it. Had a recent surge of folks sign up for it. So make sure that you sign up there. If you want to follow my trading, Savvy Trader is where to follow it. SavvyTrader.com/daily stock pick. I've got two portfolios. I've got a trading portfolio and I've got a daily stock pick portfolio. You can see the trading portfolio is up 1.89 in 30 days. The core portfolio, which is 36 stocks that are just in that name. There are 100 shares of 36 stocks. If you're looking to build a portfolio, these are companies that I think are good products with good earnings, with good management, and good companies that I think you could invest in at any point in time. So that's where it is. The trading portfolio, those are names that I'll get in and out of, and I'll try and keep you up to date. It's not all my trading. It's just names that I think you should keep an eye on. So if you have any questions, hit me up. You can go to the link tree. I've got an email address right there. You can tip me on Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo. Either one. All the podcast links are right there. But I am back to regularly scheduled, and I will have shit ton of notes tomorrow. So I'll have more to talk about. I think I did pretty well for talking about nothing. But yeah, okay. See you guys tomorrow. Bye. Stopping. Okay, I stopped that. Debt never affects us because we just print more money. Yeah, Christian. The only thing that would put us on the end is BRICS. Yeah, and they're BRICS does look like a joke, but I don't think it's a joke if they actually get something together. But I think I heard it on a podcast. Let them do something. I mean, let them create some type of, if BRICS actually gets their act together and creates some type of economic conformity, then you should be worried. Until that time, it's just a bunch of countries getting together and meeting and then going behind each other's backs. So, yeah, Christian has good, I mean, that 25, 25, 25, 25 portfolio, I'm not a big fan of bonds. I'm not a big fan of gold and silver. I'm not a big fan of cash. My 25% is 100% in equities, real estate. So I just don't believe cash loses you money. Bonds in my lifetime have lost you money. And gold and silver are just a hedge against inflation with money. So I don't think you're doing yourself any favor. But remember, I talk about this a lot. It's all about what helps you sleep at night. What allows me to sleep at night might keep other people up. That risk factor, it's a real thing. So, okay, with that, I'm going to go write the newsletter. I want to be done by 12. So, going to go write the newsletter, put my wash in the dryer, do some other stuff. Okay, see you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Regularly scheduled time and place, about 8:30 tomorrow morning. And I'll have the newsletter out by noon. Okay, take care, you guys. Say bye.